It is BKFC boss David Feldman. It is fight week once again, Dave. It is BKFC 56 this Saturday, December the 2nd, Maverik Center in Salt Lake City. And we'll break down the card and talk about some of the storylines. But off the top, safe to say, biggest event in BKFC history?
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see what the results come in as, but it's trending to be that. It looks like it definitely could be that. It's either that or the one we did BKFC 41. But look, one of our top two events ever in history, closing out the year. Really looking at some really great things for 2024. So it's a great way to close out the year.
Yeah, it is. It's a card that I'm definitely looking forward to. Of course, the main event, Mike Perry versus Eddie Alvarez. I mean, two of the most exciting, entertaining guys in MMA, in BKFC. I mean, these are just combat sports guys. And it's for the King of Violence title. It's kind of like, I guess, maybe like a BMF title, a BKFC version of that, but no more deserving guys than to be in that. So talk to me about putting that matchup together and what you're expecting from the King of Violence title fight.
I think it's going to be unbelievable. I mean, I really don't know who's going to win. I mean, you come into this fight, you go, Mike Perry's 3-0. He's bigger. He's probably a little stronger. He's probably going to walk through Eddie Alvarez. And then you think of all the accolades that Eddie Alvarez did, and you go, wow. And then I just saw him today, and I'm like, damn, you look so good at $185 right now, man. Like, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a great fight. As a fan, as you know, I'm a fan. As a fan, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be I don't know how long it lasts, but I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. And look, King of Violence. Let's have some fun, right? Have some fun with what we're doing. And they're two very violent competitors. So the King of Violence, I think, was dubbed perfectly for these guys.
It was. Have you unveiled the official belt yet? I know that was coming. Has that been revealed?
Yeah, actually, we're going to tomorrow. I just got it in. I did this. I finally got some love from Philadelphia, man, today. Like, I've been doing this for so long, John, and Philadelphia radio started picking me up today. I was like, yes. So I actually brought it on there just to show them. Obviously, you can't see it on the radio, but they were like, holy shit, this is unbelievable. No, it's an awesome belt. It's a really good looking belt. And I'll unveil it tomorrow.
That's awesome. It's always amazing as a promoter when you put a fight together that you're really truly excited about, right? When you don't know what can happen and you know everybody is going to be tuned in for that one. So that'll be a fun one. And it keeps getting, I mean, it doesn't go downhill much. Co-main event, Ben Rothwell, Todd Duffee. You know, you just said, I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't expect it to last long. I mean, say the same thing for the co-main event, right? There's no way this one lasts very long.
No, and again, a lot of people don't know a lot about Todd Duffee because he hasn't been around for a minute, and now he's back. I mean, he does hold one of the fastest knockouts in UFC history. The guy can bang. He's big. He's strong. But, you know, this is different. As we always say, this is different. This is different. So if he can take a bare-knuckle punch, I think he's got a great shot in this fight. And if he can't, then, you know, it's going to be a quick night for Ben Rothwell. And Ben is, you know, he's one of my favorite guys on the roster. He's a real team player. He wants to promote. He's big. He's strong. He comes out exciting. So, you know, I'm excited for that one as well.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because, I mean, obviously you got to stay unbiased and that sort of thing. But Ben Rothwell, if you're a fan of combat sports, like, you have to be a fan of Ben Rothwell. The guy's been around forever, and he's just a class act and a fun dude. But I'll say this, Todd Duffee, as you said, maybe an unknown commodity to a lot of people, but in the MMA business, there was a time where he was like the guaranteed next big thing. I mean, he's an absolute specimen, but he had some injury problems, right? But what do people keep saying that get into BKFC? Like, yes, the competitions are tough, but the training is better on my body because it's the grappling rounds that aren't tearing up my knees and that sort of thing. Todd Duffee might fit in this really well.
Oh, he might. And talk about someone who speaks well. This guy, like, I mean, he speaks unbelievable. I was like, am I talking to your lawyer or is this you? Like, he speaks great, man. But yeah, man, look, he has firepower and he's training hard for this. But, you know, Ben Rothwell always trains hard. And what a good dude, just a family man. Like, two guys I really like. I don't know. I'm not rooting against either of these guys, but may the best man win.
I love it. All right, then the championship action continues. Christine Ferea and Bec Rawlings run it back for the women's flyweight title. You know, maybe a somewhat controversial stoppage last time around. I know Bec certainly felt that way. I mean, was this a no-brainer for you to run it back? Did you consider other things, or was it like, no, we got to do this?
I wanted to run it back as soon as the fight got stopped. I was like, that was really heating up into a good fight. So I wanted to run it back. Christine obviously wanted bigger things too, which, you know, we're looking down the road at that, but we'll see. She has to get through Bec Rawlings, and it was a competitive fight. I think it's going to be a really, really competitive fight. I'm excited about it. I'm also excited. Fox pay-per-view in Australia picked this one up, so I'm excited about that as well. So we have a lot of good things going on down there.
That is awesome. Featherweight champ Kai Stewart faces Howard Davis, who obviously I know he'd been bugging you for a title fight for a while. He's an exciting fighter. He's getting that opportunity. Talk to you about this matchup because on paper it looks like fireworks as well.
Again, just two great guys. I wish I could be like, that guy's no good, man. And I can't, man. Just two great guys. Very classy, very respectful, very thankful to be where they are in the organization. But you got a really skilled guy like Howard Davis who has great hands. You got a great competitor like Kai Stewart doesn't know how to back up, doesn't know how to, take no for an answer. So, again, another competitive matchup.
I love it. It's going to be a great one. There's also, we could just keep going. There's Jeremy Stevens versus Jimmy Rivera, which is obviously going to be big familiar names to the MMA space. That's going to be fireworks. Is it that one? Is there anything that's exciting? What's exciting you?
We also got a rematch for the heavyweight championship. Mick Terrell versus Arnold Adams is on the card too. So that was an explosive fight for as long as it lasted. Mick Terrell was coming off COVID. So we'll see if he was coming off COVID, like if that was really the reason why he got knocked out, or if that wasn't the reason. And we're going to find out on Saturday night in an explosive heavyweight matchup. And then, like you said, Jeremy Stevens versus Jimmy Rivera, two guys that, again, they don't know how to back up. They just know how to come forward and bang. And I'm excited about that. 6 fights on this card could certainly be the main event on any card around. 6 fights on this card. So I'm really, really happy to end the year in Salt Lake City where tickets are really selling like crazy. So I think it's going to be a great, great night for us.
I think so too. I think the lineup looks loaded. It's like you said, Maverik Center in Salt Lake City. If you can get tickets, if not pay-per-view, just $49.99. I did, by the way, see that if you happen to be subscribed to Fight Plus, it's only $29.99. So I mean, that's even cheaper. I know, you try to keep the value as strong as possible, but every now and then, I mean, a card like this, a pay-per-view is just needed, right? Is that just something you need fans to understand? You don't want it to be pay-per-view, you don't have to, but sometimes you got to.
I want to give it away always. I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just trying to pay the fighters, right? Like, I can't pay the fighters if I don't upcharge this. We're also, for the BKFC subscribers, they're also getting it for $29.99. So we're not trying to price gouge them, but at the end of the day is I can't afford to do a show like this if I'm not upcharging a little bit yet. Now, look, there's going to come a time in probably 12 to 18 months where we're going to be able to do that because we're doing a whole different model here that's going to, I'm going to blow a lot of people's minds on what we're going to do in this model for viewing BKFC, but I think it's going to generate a lot of viewers and it's not really going to cost anything. So I can't wait for that day, and that's coming soon.
All right, that's an intriguing tease right there. As you said, wrapping up the year here, December 2nd. I think the first fight we have announced next year is February 2nd. Are you anticipating a break of that long, or are there maybe some more announcements to come, or do you maybe need a little time to reset and regroup and get ready?
Well, you know what? I really want to plan. It's going to be a really, really busy year for us, and I want to plan right. We are going to do our first prospect series January 27th in Albuquerque, but we don't have that card completely done yet. But that's going to be an exciting one. And then February 2nd, and then it just rolls. I mean, it really rolls where we have 3 or 4 events every single month, leading out the year. Some months we're gonna have 6 fights because we got some international stuff going on. We start Mexico in April. We start South Africa in February. So we just got a lot of things going on all over the world. And when I say those things, John, like, because you've been a great supporter of me, like when I say those things, I literally get the chills. I'm like, we're doing South Africa and we're doing and we're doing Bulgaria. We just did Bulgaria, which they said was the best combat sport event they ever had in Bulgaria ever. They've never seen anything better than it. 7,000 people at our first event in Bulgaria. So that was special for us. We just come off of Bukal versus Sanchai. I mean, this has just been an incredible year for us. What a way to end this year. And 2024 is going to be crazy. Yes, and we start that off at the Hard Rock, our home away from home in Hollywood, Florida. And we're going to announce that main event, I think, tomorrow. If not, it'll be announced at the fight.
That's awesome. Long way from the hockey rink, to say the least, right? I mean,
it's funny, man. My office is like a half a mile away from the warehouse that I used to do the underground bare-knuckle fights at. It's crazy. We only moved about a half a mile away, but I drive by it every once in a while. I'm like, man, humble beginnings, man. Humble beginnings.
That is pretty cool. You said, I mean, this seemed like a banner year for you, man. It seemed like the popularity and as you said, the worldwide kind of spread of it. I guess, you said you talked the tease a little bit, but what do you think we see out of 2024? It seems like the sport's really gaining acceptance. It feels like what MMA had to go through, right? In the beginning where people are like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this stuff. But now, I don't know, from the outside looking in, it feels like now people are understanding, there's rules under the unified rules. And it seems like wherever you go, people are kind of more accepting than they have been.
It's so funny. I was telling you earlier, I did a radio show called Preston and Steve in Philly this morning, and they came into it like, oh, this, that. And at the end of the show, they go, man, you really changed our perception. I'll tell you who's the best salesman, Eddie Alvarez. He's the best salesman for bare knuckle ever. Like, it was unbelievable. He was a paid poster boy. I mean, but when he was done, they were like, wow, you really changed my perception. I can't wait to watch this thing. It's not what I thought it was. That's my biggest challenge, right? Is to change the perception of someone to allow them to watch it. Because you know, as well as I know, if they watch it and they're a combat sports fan, they got to be hooked, right? Let's change their perception. Let's figure out ways to educate them, which we are. And let's get a main big, TV or OTT deal in 2024, which we're talking to 3 or 4 big players. And that's when I think this sport just really, really explodes.
I love it, man. Well, you said it. If you give it a chance, I think you'll like it. It's a phenomenal one. And hey, look, if you're looking for a place to start, this might be the one. BKFC 56. It's this Saturday. Like I said, if you're in Salt Lake City, get tickets. If not, it's on pay-per-view everywhere, so you can get it. Man, it looks like a phenomenal card, top to bottom. So, Dave, I'll just wish you the best of luck, my man.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, you can get all the information at bkfc.com, pay-per-view on all the cable and satellite providers, Fight TV, bkfc.com, like I said. And thanks again, John, man. It's going to be an awesome event. Love to talk to you after the event.
I love it. I didn't even have to ask you to make a final pitch because I don't think you have to. The card sells it itself, man. If you're not wanting to tune into this, you just don't like combat sports.
The king of violence will be crowned.